A second-half huddle is now a part of the Manchester United matchday ritual, but they are a muddle. When the ball trickled in off Lisandro Martinez for Tottenham's contest-killing second goal, Erik ten Hag vainly glanced at the monitor in the hope there would be a reprieve. There was not. Too many United players reacted apathetically. Heads dropped. Andre Onana, one of a handful of respectable performers, kicked a paper airplane. Anthony Martial and Facundo Pellistri were waiting to come on and try and salvage the game. When they crossed the line, the game was dead, even with 9 added minutes. Tottenham supporters sang euphorically and did not sound remotely nervous. They had no need to be. The away end quickly emptied. 4 months ago, they sang, "Harry Kane, we'll see you in June." How they must wish they saw him line up for this impotent United. The problems are familiar for United and they are at both ends. Their knack for conceding early second-half goals continues while in the final third they remain wasteful. Punters will not indulge United's excuse of Michael Oliver's errant officiating when Alejandro Garnacho's shot smacked Christian Romero's hand. United had glaring chances at 0-0 and 1-0. Just as glaring was the absence of a striker. United invested £72 million in a goalscorer who is not only unproven but unfit. An unfair amount of pressure is being piled onto Rasmus Højlund before he has had a kick. A positive result was all the more pressing in this week of tumult. United have played a bad game off the pitch with the handling of Mason Greenwood's future and they were better on the pitch. But issues from last season have not been adequately addressed and their planning has been poor. Marcus Rashford was foiled in a one-on-one. Bruno Fernandes miscued a free header and Casemiro placed his within reach of Guglielmo Vicario while Antony struck the post. Antony remains a €100 million work in progress and there is plenty of work to do. That is on Ten Hag, who did not bother to acknowledge the Brazilian once he had finished his half lap of the pitch when he was inevitably hooked. Not for the first time this week, Ten Hag was too dilatory in freshening up United's attack from a bench that inexplicably had 2 goalkeepers on it. United had enviable resources to call upon in Christian Eriksen and Jadon Sancho, though again their actual number 9, Martial, was practically selected only to make up the numbers. Martial eventually warmed up, albeit at a glacial pace 12 weeks on from his last appearance. He is not a substitute striker to instill dread and entered in the 83rd minute. Too late. The replaced Rashford chucked his boot to the ground. Ten Hag has blindingly persevered with Rashford at centre forward this week when he should have varied the attack after such a lifeless performance against Wolves, pummeled by Brighton earlier in the day. Wolves were denied an obvious penalty against United on Monday, so United were denied an obvious penalty on Saturday. Romero's arm was so outstretched he was practically goalkeeping when Garnacho's effort clearly was blocked by his hand. Oliver, the on-pitch official, and the VAR John Brooks should expect a free weekend next week. The pair were excused over Romero's proximity, another buzzword used to mask the failings of English officials. Oliver got it wrong. Ten Hag, sensing Oliver's grandstanding after he cautioned Aaron Wan-Bissaka, preached calm. Antony and Fernandes did not listen and were both booked within seconds of each other for tackling and backchatting. Oliver's decision-making was topical among the United substitutes pacing up and down the touchline. Ten Hag was himself guilty of venting over a harmless tackle by Pedro Porro on Fernandes. With expectations raised, tempers are bound to be frayed, and this has been a draining first week of the season for most concerned at United. The preseason optimism, deflated with the fortuitous defeat of Wolves, has been completely punctured. United's narkiness was almost punished when Porro and Pop Sarr struck the woodwork within seconds of each other. Sarr was more clinical in the 49th minute when Spurs seized on Luke Shaw's dawdling and the Senegalese